Have you ever noticed that canned food in China feels like a distant cousin? Familiar, but not really part of the family. On the one hand, cans are everywhere in stores. On the other hand, when Chinese people get hungry, they'll order takeout before even thinking about opening a can. In fact, according to a 2020 survey, the average American eats about 90 kilos of canned food per year. Western Europe, 50 kilos. Japan, 23 kilos. And China, just 0.2 kilos. That's about half a can of soup per person per year. But here's the twist. China is the world's largest producer of canned food, exporting to more than 150 countries. So why do Chinese people make so much canned food, but barely eat it themselves? The Western love affair with cans. To answer why China doesn't love cans, first, we'll look at why the West does love cans. Cans in Europe and America didn't start out as everyone's favorite food. Cans were expensive, hard to seal, and mostly used for explorers or long sea voyages before refrigeration was common. Then came World War I. Suddenly, armies needed food that could survive trenches and travel, and so canned food production exploded, literally growing to hundreds of percent above pre-war levels. With so many factories pumping out cans, the cost plummeted. After the war, Europe was broke and hungry. But guess what was lying around in all those warehouses? Cans. Mountains of leftover canned food. Cheap, filling, easy to store. People got used to eating it every day. Meanwhile, in the US, cities were booming. Factory workers didn't have time to cook, but they needed to eat. So they turned to the can. Bread plus a can of canned meat. Not exactly Michelin 3-star, but any food is better than no food, and hunger is the best sauce. Over time, laws and safety standards made cans trustworthy. Technology improved and prices dropped even more. So whether during war or peace, cans became part of daily life. They weren't just food, they were survival, comfort, and convenience in a can. China's canning story. China also started canning back in the late 19th century. The first big hit? Fermented black bean fish in a can. But ironically, while World War I increased can production, constant wars kept the industry small in China. Things changed after 1949. During the Korean War, China's canned food production skyrocketed to more than 15 times pre-war levels. Soldiers fought with cans in their backpacks. After the war, China began exporting cans in huge numbers. Fruit, pickles, beef, chicken, you name it. The Soviet Union loved them so much, they helped spread Chinese cans all across Eastern Europe. By the late 1950s, China was exporting nearly 100,000 tons of canned food per year. But here's the catch. While abroad, cans were very cheap, in China itself, cans were extremely expensive. A can of peaches cost almost the same as a pound of fresh pork. For most families, especially in rural areas, that made canned food more of a special treat than a daily staple. So while Europeans saw canned food as nothing special, Chinese people saw it as a luxury. The rise of takeout. Fast forward to today. China is richer, factories are more efficient, and cans are cheaper than ever. Sounds like the perfect time for cans to shine, right? Except the internet had other plans. With smartphones, food delivery apps, and fast logistics, not to mention microwaves, fridges, and freezers, takeout became the go-to choice. For the same price as a can of stew, you can get a steaming hot meal delivered to your door. More variety, fresher taste, better flavor. Cans just couldn't compete. Aside from the occasional peach can at a family gathering, or lunch meat in a hot pot, canned food quietly slipped out of daily life. So why don't Chinese people love cans? Simple. History and timing. In the West, wars and industrial revolutions made cans a survival food, then a cultural habit. In China, cans arrived too late and were too expensive. By the time they became affordable, takeout had already stolen the spotlight. So next time you open up a can of soup, Spam, or peaches, remember, somewhere in China, that can was probably made, but the locals might never eat it.